Hey, aloha, Mark J, world's laziest networker, coming to you from our backyard here, actually our courtyard in beautiful Kauai, Hawaii. And today we have a guest. It's something that I love to do, which is follow up with someone in about a year. It was about a year ago we were together. So Sarah Dooley is here, who lives on the island from Dooley 3, right? I saw that. I love that little thing. It's your husband and your beautiful daughter, right? And you've had success in network marketing. And we were just talking about the fact that you're actually in the top 5% of the earners. And you're on your way because there's a few demarcation lines. It's really hard getting the first 100 people. That's really hard. Then the next step is 400, and the next step is 1,000, and you're now well over 1,000. And I think what's really important is one of the reasons that we asked you to come down and share what's going on is you're remodeling.
Yes.
Your dream house.
Yes.
You bought your dream house. And so let's back up a little bit, because I think what's really interesting is all the top network marketers in the world that we've done so much with on the summit and everything. You know, that's great, but who are the new emerging leaders? Who are the new ones? They're going to be those standards for the next 10 or 15 years. And we see a lot of people, you know, they come in and they have a little bit of success. I'm sure you've seen it already. And then they vanish. So you have staying power. So let's back up, give some people some background, and then let's talk about how you actually became successful, because I think that's what most people want to know. And as you and I have talked about, because we have a mastermind that we're in, very private mastermind. Tomorrow morning we got a meeting, right? Is it tomorrow? No, Saturday morning. Saturday morning. But let's back up. Tell everybody where you're from.
I'm originally from Texas, but I've been on Kauai for 6 years, just over 6 years.
Right. And when you were in Texas, you went to college.
Right.
And your major was?
Social work, dance, and then my master's in education.
Master's in education. You got involved in the school system.
Right.
And that sort of triggered a change for you.
Yeah.
Or at least a change of your mind. Was it disappointing what was going on in the school system, or not what you thought it was going to be?
I loved writing the curriculum. I have so much respect for teachers. It was hard, and I felt like if I was going to raise a family, I didn't know how I would have the energy to raise a family on this income and have the time that I wanted to give to my family. So I actually am homeschooling my daughter now. And
right. Which is another dream.
Yes.
Right. So you're getting to teach. You don't have to worry about the curriculum. You can create your own curriculum. When we were talking earlier, you love to do that anyway. So basically, you moved from Texas to Kauai, and with a master's in education, started homeschooling. How old is your daughter now?
Almost 7.
Almost 7. Okay, so you're homeschooling. You got a husband.
Yes.
Any woman knows that has a husband, that's a full-time job, right?
Yes.
We love you, Dooley. Okay. By the way, I'll be at your poker game soon. Okay. I need some money because I'm taking a trip. So anyway, so you're homeschooling and you get involved in network marketing. Was this the first shot at network marketing for you?
I feel so grateful to say yes.
Yeah.
It is.
So first company out of the box, and you're with a great company, LifeVantage. I think one of their big advantages is the price of the product is really affordable.
Yes.
A lot of great network marketing products out there, but when you get a family of 4 on it, you're looking at, you know, $800, $900, $1,000. So they've solved that problem, and you got off to a good sluggish start, right? Like most people. And tell us what happened at that point.
At that point, we had some success, but it really plateaued, and I felt like I was banging my head against the wall looking for a way to make this more effective. All of the energy and time and money I was putting into my business, and I heard about Go 90 Grow.
Okay.
And that was the beginning to my personal transformation in my network marketing business.
Right. So you get away from the hype. All Go 90 Grow is it's a system that integrate skills together, right? If we're going to make some money, we need to learn some skills, okay? So you learn the skills and you started to have some success, and your business grew.
Yes.
But you really weren't experiencing all the success unilaterally in your life. And I know that I said, you've got to get into the master keys, and which I'd like you to tell people what your experience was, because before the master keys, your business was growing, but you were still juggling everything.
Yes.
And now things are much easier.
Yes.
Okay. What would you say is the significant difference?
The significant difference is that in the master keys, I learned how to be very clear with my focus and to identify exactly what I want, not just in my business, but in my life, and then how specifically to develop the habits around creating that and making it a reality.
Right. So do you think that a lot of people labor, because now you're sort of on the other side, you know, as soon as you hit 1,000 people and 40% or more of them are still on auto ship, and you're way over that, you're 1.5 times that, which is fantastic. When you've experienced other people coming into the business and other people at your company, and I know you've been to a lot of events, do you think people are still laboring under the idea that if they get to this pin level or get to this income level, that then their life is going to get better?
Yes.
And how is that different for you?
For me, I see that making myself better and great in my life will result in everything that I want to create. It will start to happen.
Right.
But it starts with me and being grateful for what I have, and making a clear intention to create the life I want, and then allowing the other things to come.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about intention and attention, because I think I'm so excited that you're here today. She was really cute in the kitchen. She said, it's like a little nervous or, you know, keyed up or whatever. But I think we're just excited to see each other because we're talking 3 times a month anyway in the masterminds. But basically, there's intention and there's attention. And you said the magic word, focus. So can you state unequivocally that the significant difference between struggling in network marketing, even when you're earning money, and not struggling is attention, I mean intention, and then attention or focus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think just being very clear about what you give attention to, and having an intention with what you're doing just makes everything makes more sense.
Right. So how do you juggle the two? Because I think a lot of people get confused. First of all, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying what Emerson said. And you knew I was going to work Emerson into the conversation. That's a guarantee. And that's basically that the ancestor of everything is first thought. So the success that you've had, the homeschooling, the chair you're sitting in, this shirt, everything was first a thought. How does that apply to your success? So you're homeschooling, you're in the top 5% of the earners in the industry, okay? And you're just getting started, really. Your first network marketing venture, you're making it work. Would you say that all of that, as that became clearer, things have got easier in thought first?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it on my way over here. There's so much noise in the world and in our lives, and so many things happening, that it's really helped me to be very specific with what I want to create, and to keep that very present on a daily basis. And then everything else just falls away.
Right.
But it's been a practice of keeping my subconscious right, and working in those consistent habits.
Right. So if someone was starting today or came to you today and asked your counsel, they said, you know, how do you succeed in network marketing? right? What would you tell them based on your experience?
Wow. Well, I'd recommend some courses here. Master Keys, Go 90 Grow.
Right.
But I'd say it really comes down to what you put in your mind, what you feed your mind with, and just being clear, very clear about what you do with your thoughts on a day-to-day, and
Right.
investing in the personal growth, and not just reading a book about it,
Right.
but really looking at what's going to help me really truly grow.
Right.
You know, you can only read so many books. I've done that too.
Overread.
I've
Right.
overread, and now I see that just maybe reading less, but thinking more and sitting more and
Right.
being more intentional and attentional has made a huge difference.
Right.
All the difference.
Yeah, because we've been studying together Wallace Wattles, Science of Being Great, Science of Being Rich, and Science of Being Well. And Wattles says, read less, think more. And it was great to hear you say that. So let me see if I can summarize this. What you're saying is you got real clear with yourself about the intention.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just fiscally driven,
Mm-mm.
right? It was value-based. And you hold that intention. Now, you do that first thing in the morning,
Yes.
last thing at night,
Yes.
okay? And then all during the course of the day, you've habitualized the intention so that you're only paying attention to the things that are going to advance your intention.
Yes.
Is that what
Love
you're
how you
saying?
said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
and you know, how difficult was that for you to learn how to do that?
Well, you know, I never would have figured it out on my own, first of all, but the course was so clearly laid out, so well thought through. I appreciated that, and if it hadn't been for that mastermind, I wouldn't have done it myself.
Right. No one makes it without a mastermind.
Yeah.
You know, here I am, 25 years of preaching that, and I have 4 of them going right now for different purposes in my life. So as far as the course, you know, this isn't really a plug for the course because it costs $1, right? But it really costs a lot more than that in terms of changing your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to ask people this about the Master Key course, because what you're saying is that was the catalyst in you improving as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And shifting this is when I get this stuff, then I'll be better, to getting better. So that stuff ends up being a confirmation of your power.
Yeah.
Yes? So let's have a little fun at my expense, okay? Going through the Master Key experience, which was 6 months. Easiest thing you've ever done? Hardest thing you've ever done?
Pretty hard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I had to give up not having a plan and not being clear about what I was going to do with my mind and my life. And I had to give up just kind of going with the flow, as you will. And I paid that price, you know, getting up earlier, getting the assignments in, staying faithful to the exercises.
Right. And what did it take you on a daily basis to make these changes within?
Mm-hmm.
Right, because what you're really talking about is breaking habits.
Yes.
And replacing old habits with new habits.
Mm-hmm.
What did it take you on a daily basis?
Probably some days an hour or 2, and then some days 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But constantly throughout the day, revisiting ideas and thoughts and exercises. So, but a good concentrated time in the morning, I found worked best for me.
Right. So set your day up.
Yes.
To get that why am I doing what I'm doing? Because we talk all the time about never do anything unless you know why you're doing it.
Yes.
And most people, intellectually they understand that, but they're not living that way. It hasn't become internalized. Because in network marketing, right, let's drill down and help some people in network marketing here, and then come back to where all success began, which is really what you're saying. It began in your mind when you changed your mind, right? And this isn't anything like, The Secret where you just have to sit and think about it. You did a lot of work.
A lot of work.
On a daily basis. So we're talking about an average of an hour a day?
Yeah.
An hour a day for 6 months. So what does that come out to? 7 times 26 is 140. So basically, you gave up a total of 1 week out of your life spread over 6 months.
Yeah.
160, 170 hours, right? Was it worth it?
Oh, yeah. Best week I could have ever given up.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about network marketing, because I think that people can be listening to this and saying that sounds great and everything, but what do I say to my cousin? What do I say to my best friend? What do I say to someone that I work out at the gym? Was that something that you struggled with before and now it's pretty easy?
Yes, definitely. Because of the skills and because I see each person as a hero on his or her journey.
Right.
And I think of myself as a servant to that journey. How can I be of service? Is this person open to moving in the direction of creating a life that they're really proud of?
Right. So you're looking to collaborate with people about their agenda rather than trying to force your agenda on them. Now, was it always that way for you? Because ever since I've known you, ever since I've known you, I met you in the very early stages, and it seemed that you were heart-driven, but maybe that wasn't really well-defined.
Yes.
Because of, we're at corporate meetings and all that, and they're all wonderful and everything, but it's all about how great the plan and the product are. And we kind of, I don't know, I carry that out to the public, and they're, of course, like this. Get away,
Yes.
How did that transition take place, or were you always basic service driven?
I always knew in my heart that I was, and I assumed everyone would know that when I shared my plan, product, and company with them. Right. And I was baffled at why they couldn't see that I really loved them and cared.
Right.
And I learned a different way of communicating with people to share from that heart space, if you will.
Yeah.
The feeling, the sense of collaboration.
Right.
By asking questions and seeing how I can help them.
Right. And I think one of the things that we hear all the time, and it is true, but it's not accurate, I think, I want to know what you think, is that, whoever asking the questions is in control, right? But if we focus too much on that, my feeling is that it ends up being an interrogation rather than a dialogue. How do you shift it into a dialogue?
I pique their curiosity. And I try to ask them questions that leave them wanting more, so that they're asking me, and so that it does become a dialogue. And I like to, in the process, also share my story when it seems appropriate. How this has helped me, and maybe we can relate to each other on that way, on that level.
Sure. So basically, it feels that that's how you would like to be approached.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's really one of the big keys, is stop worrying about what to say. When I started approaching people, say, how would I like my friend Doug to tell me about something he was interested in?
Yeah.
How do you want to be approached about something? A great way to diffuse, what do I say, right? Because all we're really trying to do, that I'm sensing, is you're trying to find out if there's any spark in there, and they're willing to become a hero in their own life.
Exactly.
Yeah, and tell me what that means to you. Someone becoming a hero in their own life.
To me, it means creating a life that they feel proud of, that they're happy, excited to wake up in the morning because they're creating something, and I also recognize that each person is a hero, but maybe at a different part of the journey. You know, maybe they're stuck, maybe they're reluctant, maybe maybe they're not ready, but everyone has, I really believe everyone has the potential to create something really amazing, and I don't think that any of us would be here if we didn't have that potential.
Simple question. Agree or disagree? There are no common people.
Agree.
Agree. And why do you feel that way now?
I feel there are no common people because we are all great.
Right.
We are all perfect.
Right.
Not complete.
Right. Not complete. Right.
And
you can just ask my wife about me. A lot of work to do on that clay.
And I love it. I love people even more because I can see that now.
You see the greatness in them.
Yes.
Yeah. And the idea that the world and everybody in it is perfect, but maybe not complete, and being a small piece of helping complete it by helping your fellow man, is that a shift from how you originally came into network marketing?
Yes. It's a much broader perspective. It's more empowering, it's more freeing. It allows me to just be in that space better, whereas before I felt like I had to force things to happen, and now I look at everything completely differently.
Yeah.
And it's easier.
It's easier.
A lot easier.
It's easier, right? See their greatness and ask them if they want to answer the call by having a conversation with them, not making a pitch. So one of the things that I think most people want to know, and it just goes away once you get into that state. So if you can give anybody reassurances, that was it. As soon as you get into that space, you're never out of people to talk to.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
And why do you feel that is? I agree, but why do you feel that is?
You're never out of people to talk to. Well, there are billions of people, and it's almost like they feel more welcome in your presence. Most of the people who've joined my team, Mark, I didn't know when I started.
Right.
I think all of them.
Yeah.
And I think it's for that reason.
Yeah. They just feel, well, I always feel better in your presence. And so you're homeschooling, you've got a dream home that actually has 2 houses on the property, so that you'll be generating a piece of the mortgage, renting that out, and just living a dream life here in Kauai, and certainly making our life better. And of course, we always end these with the same 10 questions. And instead of having to squint at a whiteboard over there, we're going to pull them out so that you can get to know them. So your number one piece of advice before we get to these 10 questions, 10 quick questions. If you were starting network marketing today, knew what you knew, but we're starting network marketing today, would you focus on what first?
I would focus on finding out what that person's hope and desire is.
Right.
And that being the space we are going to collaborate in.
Right. So from a prospecting point of view, that as far as personally being successful across the board in network marketing and everything else, where would you suggest people start there?
Yeah, starting with what do they want, and finding a way to be that person subconsciously first, or in their mind, and
right.
What kind of personal growth can we do to help you in that journey? Yeah,
theory that that I've seen just validated over and over and over and over again for over 20 years, but your experience might be different, that a person's income, their performance and their income is going to be directly proportional to their self-worth. Right? Mm-hmm. So it begs the question, if the world that we currently have isn't what we want, and it's created from the world within, why wouldn't we put in an hour or so a day?
Yes.
Right? And a lot of people think they don't have time for personal growth. They'll do that later, which is the limit, right? That's the paradox. Is that what you kind of deal with on your team?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. and it's still for myself, you know, growing in that way, constantly reminding myself that this is the work. It's the personal growth.
Right. Well, that daily routine of personal growth, you talked about it. We were talking the other day in our private call about how you had kind of fallen out of some of the good habits, and I said, "Hey, wake up! You hit your dream. Time for another dream." So, anyway, so personal growth. We'll put a link down below. You can get yourself a scholarship slot. Everybody's scholarship. So, like I said, we didn't talk about this to pitch you on anything. So we always end with these 10 questions. Just knee-jerk answer, okay? Your favorite word?
Love.
Love, okay. One love, baby, okay. Your least favorite word?
It's got to be hate.
Hate, okay. What turns you on, creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
The good nonfiction.
Good nonfiction. That'd be your life. Although, my wife and I are living a fantasy, right? Okay. What turns you off, creative, spiritually, or emotionally?
Ooh, just bitterness, angry, violence. I try to keep that out of my life.
Yeah, yeah. What sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of my daughter laughing. Like, it can make me cry.
Yeah.
I love that sound.
Yeah. I sit out here at night, and one of our daughters lives in the Ohana over there. For those of you on the main end, and Ohana's family, and you might know it as an in-law apartment. But anyway, I hear her cackling down there at night. Even at 28, it still melts me. I didn't know. I figured it was that beautiful daughter, but I didn't know if the puppy was gaining any ground. Okay, which might be the answer to the next question. What sound or noise do you hate?
Besides the dog barking, it's a baby crying for its mommy.
Huh.
You know, like a little baby that's just bawling its eyes out. I get.
And you call yourself a red? Anyway.
Yes. Red, blue.
Okay, real quick, your favorite curse word?
Ooh, the F-bomb.
Okay. What profession, you're successful in network marketing, you're making 15, 20,000 a month like clockwork, you don't have to work anymore. What profession other than that would you maybe like to try?
I would like to invent a socialite, a farmer socialite librarian, something like that. I'd like to go to parties and spas and host dinner parties, but I'd like to garden and farm and spend some time at the library.
Nice. Nice. What profession would you not like to do?
You know, the crime scene, people who have to clean up the crime scenes.
Yeah.
Or politics.
What are you doing in network marketing? Okay. Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I'm looking forward to him saying, "You did a great job. Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to find your greatness."
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Great. Sarah Dooley, check her out. We'll leave you a link. Peace be the journey, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for stopping by the World's Laziest Networker YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Hey, leave us a comment and don't forget to click the like button.